Bernie Sanders is looking to serve a little bit of justice with your meal. He is actually pressuring McDonald's to raise their minimum wage to a living wage of $15 an hour. Now, he said on Twitter, if McDonald's raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour and respected the constitutional rights of your workers to form a union, it would set an example for the entire fast food industry to follow. And this is a letter, of course, that was sent to the chief executive officer of the company, Steve Easterbrook. Now, this letter to Easterbrook follows news, of course, that Amazon will also be offering a $15 an hour minimum wage to more than 250,000 current employees. Now, look, that is a bit of a bittersweet victory for me, because, like, on the one hand, sure, they got a raise, but with one hand they giveth, and the other hand they taketh away. So now they don't get stock options or the benefits they had before. Nonetheless, a little bit of a victory. You still had them raising the minimum wage, and that's ultimately a good thing. And so coming fresh off that, Bernie Sanders says, okay, here's what we do next. We fight for a living wage when it comes to the fast food industry. We're going to go after McDonald's. And I think that's great. Now, Sanders said in an interview with Bloomberg, I have zeroed out that other major corporations will follow suit to Amazon. He said that Walmart, Target, and the fast food industry, and airlines in particular, need to raise their pay. And look, so the federal minimum wage right now is $7.25. That itself is a starvation wage. Now, a lot of states don't actually pay that. A lot of states actually pay something a little bit better, somewhere around $8 an hour to $11 an hour. But generally, they usually pay their state's minimum wage for people who are working at McDonald's, working in fast food. So getting them to pay $15 an hour would be an enormous jump in pay, especially for people living in, rural Arkansas or Michigan. Not so much when it comes to places like, New York, San Francisco, and Seattle. Those would actually have to see higher minimum wages of about $20 to $25 an hour in order to be an actual living wage. But nonetheless, this is a good start. So raise the minimum wage to a living wage, $15 an hour, and index it to inflation. Now, something that also should be pointed out in this is that he is pushing for people to join a union. So he said, as I mentioned before, McDonald's should respect the constitutional rights of their workers to form a union. So this is, again, super, super important. This is something that didn't get mentioned at all in the Amazon fight as well. But Amazon should also form a union. These Amazon workers, fast food workers, should join a union. Why? Because that is really the only way that these wages are going to continue to be competitive, as well as being able to keep the benefits. It's not just raising the wage themselves that is going to solve the problems facing labor today. It is doing, obviously, collective bargaining. We need to go back to the days of where we actually had unions, where we actually had strong labor unions in America. We do not have that today. I know there are people out there, the unions they're so terrible, they're so powerful. No, they're not. Union membership is at a record low when it comes to Americans. Record low. And you see how most of the money has flowed right to the top 1%, to the CEOs that are making 900% more than they did in previous decades. All these benefits and all this money has gone to the CEOs and not to the workers. What we need is to reverse that trend so that the workers actually can share in the productivity and success of the company. That's what a union is supposed to do. So I'm glad Bernie Sanders actually mentioned that in this. Now, here's McDonald's response. McDonald's said in an email that it provides opportunities for employees with world-class training and education programs to help them build the skills needed for today's workforce. The chain said it has allocated $150 million over 5 years for its tuition assistance program. These are the same companies, by the way, that lobby politicians to fight against not only the minimum wage, not only Medicare for all, but also free college. If we had universal, college, tuition-free education for public colleges and universities, which is what Bernie Sanders and the rest of the progressives are looking to do, then that tuition assistance wouldn't be necessary for McDonald's. And yet, they lobby against all of these progressive politicians and all of these progressive policies. So that's the hypocrisy of McDonald's and a lot of these other gigantic corporations as well. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.